For the purposes of this video, I will not be releasing any personal information in regards to people committing these kind of heinous, vile, disgusting crimes against these WWE superstars. One, I'm sure there's criminal investigations ongoing, and two, I don't want to give them the publicity. For the past few weeks, Alexa Bliss has been dealing with an online troll / stalker, and this has become major news for the wrong reasons. Alexa Bliss is someone we talk about very often on the channel. Obviously, she's involved in major storylines on Monday Night Raw, and WWE has been pushing her to the moon. She has appeared in more main event segments of Raw than any other woman in WWE, yet she is subjected to comments like this. She is literally being subjected to comments that threaten her and her fiance. They are comments made by a vile troll who shouldn't be allowed to use the internet. Just today, he commented saying that he wanted to eliminate the threat and rescue his wife, Alexa Bliss. It's a delusion, it's a fantasy built around nothing. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame. When you see what someone said to Alexa Bliss on Instagram, now, for purposes of this person goes under a different name. The comments are vaguely similar, so we kind of assume it's the same person. If not, if it's someone pretending to be him, that's even sicker. These kind of comments have no place in the internet wrestling community. And I'm sorry, if you think I'm being a spoiled sport and all that stuff, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Alexa Bliss is an entertainer. She entertains me and she entertains you, hopefully. That's her job, is to entertain us. Alexa Bliss is a character in a television show. Alexis Kaufman is the real person behind the character and the real person that has to read these tweets. And she's a real person with a real fiance and a real life away from professional wrestling. When you see what happened recently with WWE superstar Sonya Deville, she actually found a man inside her home. He broke an entry into her home and she had to use the words, "He was there to hurt me." Just imagine what any person would feel like if a stranger had invaded your home and you genuinely believed they were there to hurt you. And this was done out of an obsession that this person had with Sonya Deville. Again, it all started on Twitter. This was a very real thing that happened. And yes, there is a criminal investigation ongoing, but it didn't stop the modern day stalker that's currently stalking Alexa Bliss to even send messages to Sonya Deville, even claiming that because she's a lesbian, he could fix her. It's the most outdated, stupid, moronic, horrible thing you could say to someone, and it's all to try and get under their skin, and he thinks it's acceptable. You have WWE superstar Peyton Royce, who is currently obviously making it publicly known that she is receiving packages from people that she doesn't want to receive. Predominantly, I'm assuming, from one person, and they keep sending it to a friend of hers' mailing address. Like, she says it in her tweet, the WWE Performance Center is there. This has the ability for you to send fan mail to superstars. You do not have to send them to the WWE superstar's home or an address that they visit frequently. It shouldn't happen. These are real people who are allowed lives outside of wrestling. I have met WWE superstars. For the purposes of this video, this is me meeting Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose in London. And genuinely, really two lovely people. I think I spoke to them for about a minute. They were very happy to talk, to take the picture. Very smiley. They answered a question. Very, very lovely people. Because I showed them respect, they showed me respect. There was no creepiness. There was no, oh, I need to hug you. Of course that's acceptable in many circumstances. But I didn't feel the need to do that. And these are real people. And it's about time we start respecting them as real people. Yes, their characters are larger than life. Yes, their entertainment is so freaking good. But it doesn't mean we have a claim to them. It doesn't mean we have the right to upset their personal and private lives to the point where people can go onto Twitter and say the most heinous things and think it's okay. Now, personally, I think this is a culture which the internet wrestling community has now got used to. If I search hashtag Peyton Royce, the third search result comes from an @sex something name. And it literally says looking good pay with a picture of Peyton Royce in her wrestling attire, but very zoomed in on her parts. In fact, in the picture, you can't even see her face. It's an utterly disgusting way to disrespect a woman. Alexa Bliss suffers the same thing. Again, this one's from a year ago. It received 167 likes, and it was all close-ups of Alexa Bliss's butt. That's all. Now I can understand it. Boys will be boys. Of course, these WWE superstars are 100% some of the most beautiful women in the world. But you don't have to sexually objectify them on Twitter just to prove a point. If you fancy them and you want to knock one out to them, you go right ahead. But to post these pictures of butts and close-up of vaginal shots just because you think it's going to get you some Twitter credibility is absolutely ridiculous. And again, it's a way to sexualize these superstars. And I'm focusing on these three superstars, but it definitely counts for the entire WWE locker room. This kind of stuff implies to Liv Morgan and everyone else as well. I see it all the time. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And the problem is you then have a social media where everyone's trying to outdo each other. So you see that these people receive 100 likes on butt pictures. So, alright, that's it. Yep, I can claim Alexa Bliss is my wife, and that's perfectly acceptable. It's not. It's not acceptable. And to add to that death threats, man, you must be out of your mind. Honestly, I hope the only reason Twitter has left that person's profile up, and I'm sure the majority of you know who I'm talking about, I'm sure the only reason they've left it up is because there's a criminal investigation ongoing and the police want to verify who that person is. And good. I hope the person rots in hell. I really, really do, because these are people that I look up to, that I respect, and they should not be subjected to this kind of abuse. It's simple as that. And even to the little stuff of posting the butt pictures, please stop. There's no need for it. There really isn't any need for it. And if you see something on Twitter which you think shouldn't be there, feel free to report it. That's what the function's there for. WWE superstar Sonya Deville left wrestling for months after what happened to her. Rightfully so. She wanted time off to get herself right. And I completely understand that. But it means that we as fans were robbed of Sonya Deville because of this person's actions. And there's a lot of speculation Alexa Bliss wasn't on Raw this week because of her dealing with this stalker issue. Now, rightfully, we'll probably never know if that's true or false. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it was just storyline-wise. She didn't need to be there this week. There was nothing for her to do this week, so she had a week off. I hope that's all it was. But could you imagine now if Alexa Bliss, at the height of her career, took a few months off? It would be such a shame. And it's something that definitely could be avoided. So I applaud you to please not do this shit on social media. It's not necessary. It really isn't. And also, if you see it, report it.